All right, in this video, we're going to dive through the basics and the foundation of bidding on Facebook. And I know probably one of the most important questions you have is how can I take $1,000 a day, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a day and spend it profitably? But to get there, and we're gonna get there in the following two videos on what to do with your budgets, we really need to unpack the basics and the foundations of bidding on Facebook, how you're actually spending your money on Facebook in the first place. So if this is somewhat of a review for you, give it a chance because there actually might be some new info here for you. If you've been intimidated by this all along, the idea of manual and automatic bids, this is going to clear a lot of things up for you, demystify something that's tripped up a lot of advertisers in the past. All right, so at the basic level, Facebook has automatic and manual bids. Now, depending on when you're watching this and depending on even kind of your ad account, Facebook has started to roll out new terms for these, and they've actually rolled out kind of some different labels for, they've rebranded kind of their bidding options, I think, because people have been so scared off by manual. But the automatic bid is now being called lowest cost, and manual bid is being referred to as target cost, okay? So that's what automatic bid used to be, lowest cost, and manual bid is now called target cost. Also for automatic bids, they've included an option called the bid cap. You can enable this checkbox called the bid cap, and that's actually the old max manual bid. Okay, so if that's what you were used to before, great. If that meant nothing to you, just understand that these could be two of the same things depending on when you're watching this. All right, so let's unpack what's happening with an automatic bid. And I want to remind you that, again, when you come into Facebook to advertise, you're entering into an auction. It's just like an auction where if you're trying to buy beautiful art, you know, people are raising their paddles to bid on the different items. That's essentially what's happening here, but at a way larger scale and with very rapid kind of machine-generated auction, or bids rather. Okay, so an automatic bid is Facebook's default. It's intended for kind of the majority of advertisers that might be small business owners, or they're gonna be running things at, I would say, smaller budgets, and they just kind of want to get things out the door and start running right away. What it's trying to achieve is to A, spend the budget that you've allocated for that day, so whatever your daily budget is, but B, is trying to be more efficient and profitable, right, for you. So it's really focused on the efficiency of the bid, trying to get you kind of the lowest, well, the lowest cost, there you go, of that they possibly can. So if we look at this chart here, we're looking at basically CPA, or your cost per result, on this axis, and you're looking at a time period on this axis here. And these green little dots represent, in an automatic bidding scenario, where Facebook has been able to go out and get conversions for you. So let's say we gave them $20 to spend. You know, they got a couple at $1. Awesome. They got a handful here at $2 and a few for $3. And there was some opportunities up here, some people who they could have gotten to convert to your ad, but didn't even go there because they said, okay, we got a $20 budget here. Let's spend this as efficiently as possible and deliver these results. So when the dust settles, we spent $20, we get 10 results. It's just nice solid $2 per action, $2 CPA. Great. So now if I wanted to enable this bid cap, which is essentially drawing a ceiling and saying, Facebook, I don't want to pay more than, and let's just say, I don't want to pay more than $250 for my conversions. Facebook will respect that, and they'll basically set a ceiling here. But the deal is, when the dust settles, now we don't have anything above this line. So we've set that hard line at $2.50. Do not go over this max bid. So now they're not getting any of these guys up here, and they're not getting these 3 conversions here. When the dust settles, though, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 conversions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of which were at $2 a pop. So $10, and 2 were at $1. So we spent $12. Let me write this down. We spent $12 instead of the 20. So we spent $12 here, and we only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I said, yeah, 7 results. Yeah. Okay, and so this would come out to like $1.70. So you can see that by setting that max manual bid, or the equivalent of what used to be the max manual bid, the bid cap, we spent less, but it was more profitable, right? So the thing to take away from automatic bids is that they're probably one of the more efficient ways to get lower cost CPAs, but we're talking about smaller budgets. So they're actually really well suited, I think, for traction types of campaigns. When you're starting out, you're really testing audiences and testing creative, it's okay to use automatic bidding for that. But now let's kind of draw a contrast with manual bids, or what they're calling target cost now. So in the target cost scenario, what you're doing is you're giving Facebook a target cost to shoot for, an average. So this is your former average cost kind of manual bid, where you're saying, Facebook, listen, like, hey, I'd love to get as cheap a conversion as possible from you, but let's really shoot for a $10 CPA on average over the life of this campaign or over the course of a week or so. So Facebook goes out and they find one for $8, one for $4, one for $10 in the money, one for $12, another one for $12. So another one down here for $2. And when the dust settles, they've averaged out to a $10 CPA. Now the difference here is that because you've given Facebook more flexibility and more of a range to work with, they're able to get more volume of conversions as opposed to the automatic bid, where they're more interested in kind of spending your daily amount and trying to be as profitable as possible with that allocation. So by giving them more room to breathe and saying, hey, there's really a range here. If you know your cost structure, you know your gross profit margin, if you're running an e-commerce brand, you can choose an average cost that's going to allow you to remain profitable, and Facebook will find things that totally crushes that. But it's also going to find things that are above that. But if you look at the whole of your week or of your month or whatever the time period is, it's going to average out to something that A, gives you profitability, so you're not losing money on the whole, but B, it actually gives you a lot more room for scale and a lot more volume. So the advantages here of the manual bid side are that when you're trying to scale something, the actual cost per action is much less volatile. It's much less likely to be influenced by increases in budget, because there's this range here, there's this flexibility for Facebook to deliver on these average costs. Okay, so really at the end of the day, what I want you to take away from this is that there are two ways to bid in this auction. Everybody's bidding on one of these two options, but these are better suited for different phases in the life of your campaigns. One is better for smaller budgets and kind of just getting traction early on and see what people are responding to, and the other is much better suited for actually getting in there and scaling something, because when we're going in and giving these average costs, it's going to give us a lot more room to add budget, and Facebook will have more people to choose from in the auction to actually fulfill that request of getting more people to come through in the first place. So this is the intro. In the following videos, we're going to go through how to actually mechanically and tactically carry this out in both of the scenarios, automatic and manual.